Hello friends. How are you all? Today we will see the film Avatar, which was released in 2009 with IMDb rating of 7.8. The total budget of this film was 23.7 crore USD, and the total box office collection was 289 crore USD. This film was nominated in 9 categories, and won 3 Oscars. So this story starts from the year 2129. As we can see, the population of the Earth has increased by 3 times, and humans have become much more advanced in science and technology, and now the rise of all the powers of the Earth had come to an end. So humans are now using a metal called unobtainium, which can generate a lot of power. But this metal could not be found on Earth, only in a planet called Pandora. This metal could be found, and that's why 1 kilogram of unobtainium is sold in 100 crores on Earth, and there was a company called RDA, which used to import unobtainium from Pandora. Now the main character of this story is Jack Sully. Jack was a young man at one time, and due to a war, his legs were completely broken. So now he can't move at all, he has to use a wheelchair to go from one place to another. Jack had a younger brother. His name was Tom, and Tom was a scientist. One day, 2 people from RDA company met Jack, and told him that his brother Tom is dead. They told Jack that Tom was going to go to Pandora from RDA company, and that company had spent a lot of money on Tom, and now that company wants Jack to do this job instead of Tom. Because Tom and Jack were twin brothers, so they had a lot in common in DNA, and now only Jack can do Tom's work to keep this DNA, and Jack was very happy with this, because he had to pay a lot of money for this job. Now it is seen that Jack, and many other soldiers like him were taken to Pandora planet by a giant planet called Cryon, and it took them 5 years, 9 months, and 22 days to reach Pandora planet from Earth, and throughout this time, they were roaming with a special method called hibernation. Because of this, their physical and mental age did not increase. And after reaching Pandora, they were told that to survive in this planet, they all have to wear oxygen masks. Now Jack thought that there is a big place, and he is searching for unobtainium with a big machine from the bottom of the Earth, and then they met Colonel Miles Quirridge. Quirridge was the leader of all the soldiers in Pandora planet. He told everyone that this planet is very different from the Earth, and very dangerous. If you want to survive here, you have to be very careful. If you become weak, then this planet will finish you in seconds. I have been fighting on Earth for many years, and I have never had a wound in my leg. But on the first day of coming here, I got injured, and if you all want to survive here, then you all have to follow my orders. And then Jack met Norm. Norm was a scientist, and he and Jack's brother had trained together for this project. Now, they have to take 2 people to a lab, and in that lab, they can see a 3-meter-long blue-colored human-like jeep, and they have to know that the people of Pandora planet have to look exactly like this, and they are called Navi. And now the 2 jeeps that are being shown in the lab, they have been artificially created in the lab by combining human and Navi DNA, and these jeeps were called Avatar to look like Navi, and there was no life in them. In a word, they were artificially created to look like Navi, which was controlled by humans with a machine, and the body of this avatar can only control the DNA from which it was made. That's why only Jack can control the avatar made with Tom's DNA, and that's why after Tom's death, Jack was brought to this mission, and to go to this avatar's body, they have to look at everyone like a capsule, and enter a machine with the help of which, they can directly enter their avatar body, and after rotating in the form of an avatar, they can come back to their original body. And those who controlled the body of the avatar, they were called the avatar driver, and their job was to enter the body of the avatar, and communicate well with the people of Pandora, that is, Navi, and communicate with them, and learn their language, customs, and rituals from them. Now Jack is introduced to Grace Augustine in the lab. Grace was the main scientist of this entire Avatar program, and after seeing Jack there, she is very upset because she needed a scientist for this job who was Jack's brother Tom, and Jack was a soldier, and now except some kind of training it was impossible to do Tom's work with Jack, but there was no other way. Grace forcefully took Jack to her team, and the next day with the help of a machine Norm, and Jack's brain are connected to their avatar body, and after returning to knowledge, Jack can see himself in his avatar body. He thinks that after taking this avatar form, he is able to use his legs again after many years, and after seeing this, he can't keep his happiness. He goes out of the lab, and starts exploring the surrounding areas, and the nature there seems to enjoy it very well now. After spending a lot of time in the body of the avatar, Jack comes back to his real face, but he also likes the experience of the body of the avatar now after a few days. Quaritch sends Jack to himself. He tells Jack that I want you to stay in Dr. Grace's team, and tell me all the reports there. I want to know all kinds of facts about those ships in the jungle so that we can easily win in the war of the future. And if you do this for me, then after returning to the Earth, I will send you your AR leg with the help of the operation. And after hearing this, Jack agrees to his words, and it can be seen here that two teams were formed in this whole project. The first was Quaritch and Senabahini, who always wanted to kill those ships by war, and on the other side was the science team, which means the team of Grace and Augustine, who always wanted to improve the relationship of humans with those ships. Now the next morning, Grace, Norm, and Jack take the form of their avatars, and go into the jungle with a helicopter. Grace and Norm were testing a sample of a tree in the jungle, and at that time, Jack was looking around the jungle. Then it is suddenly seen that a jaguar of P and Aura is coming towards Jack to kill him, and to save himself from that animal. Jack runs away from there, and jumps into a waterfall from the top of the mountain, because of which, even if he escapes from the hands of the jaguar, he goes far away from his companions, and now it is impossible for him to return to his camp. Now he is to spend the whole night in this jungle. After going into the jungle to save himself from that wild animal, Jack uses a stick to make a sharp weapon. Now when he was looking for a safe place to spend the night in the jungle, then it is seen that someone was keeping an eye on him from a distance, and was trying to kill him, and her name was Neteri, and she was the daughter of the ruler of the neighboring village. Now when Neteri was going to kill Jack with his arrow, then he thinks a sacred tree seed of theirs suddenly comes, and sits on the arrow, and the villagers think there is their ancestor's body in the seed of that tree, and now that body came on the arrow of Neteri, and was trying to kill Jack, and for that reason, he now starts keeping an eye on him without killing Jack. Now it is seen that along with spending the night, some wild animals start attacking Jack. Even though Jack fought with them, he did not get along with so many wild animals. Then Neteri comes there, and saves Jack from them. Now Jack says to him, I know you may not understand me, but thank you for saving my life. Then Neteri says, you should not have come here, those wild animals died for you. Actually, Grace had built a school for the people of this village from where they could learn about the customs, traditions, and language of each other, and Neteri had learned the language of the people from there. Jack says, they attacked me before, it's not my fault. Here Jack says to him, I want to learn your way of learning, your customs and traditions. Will you teach me those? At first, Neteri did not agree, but after a while, as soon as he sees the path, a few seeds of that holy tree come and start sitting in Jack's village. It seemed that the holy plants of that tree liked him, and after seeing this, Neteri gets very angry and takes him to his village. Neteri's father was the head of this village, and when they all know that the holy plants like Jack, then they will let Jack stay with them in their village, and they will teach him all the rules, customs, and everything, and it is Neteri's duty to teach him all this. And from that day on, Jack starts living with Neteri in their village. He thinks there are many big trees all around the village, and all the members of the village use these trees as their homes. And after spending the night there in their own body, Jack comes back to his human body in the camp. And after knowing the whole story from Jack, Grace could not believe that the people of that village let him stay with them. Now Jack knows this whole story to Courage, and after going there, Jack can know the boats that were on the tree. There was a lot of unobtainium under the tree. Now Courage tells him, I want you to go to the village council so that when the time comes when we go to remove the unobtainium from under the tree, then you will release all the villagers from there. I want everything to be peaceful. Then I don't like to kill them. When Jack and Courage were talking to each other. Grace could know this whole story, but Grace didn't want Jack to know this story, so she takes Norm and him and goes to another place on the mountain outside the camp. And this new place was very small. There were no facilities here. There was only a machine with which they could go to their bodies. And after this, Jack starts to know and learn. Jack starts to talk to them, learn from them, ride their horses, and he starts to know all the rules of their village very well. And from there, Jack can know everyone in this village thinks that all the power they have, it all comes from nature, and all this has to return to nature one day. Actually, there is a goddess of nature here. Her name is Eva, and she is the real source of all this power. Now one day, Jack is told by a big bird her name is Ikram, and if one of the villagers goes to be a real hunter, everyone has to choose Ikram for themselves, and one Ikram in his whole life. He sells only one person as the owner, and like this, after spending many days together, they both start to love each other. Now after quite a few days, the time has come when Jack has to sell an Ikram for himself, and for this job, they all have to go to a high mountain because all the Ikrams were there. Now from there, Jack, he doesn't like an Ikram for himself, and then he takes it. He flies in the sky for the first time. He likes this experience very much, and slowly he forgets his human life and starts to use this life and all the experiences that happen with him every day. Jack records them all in a video camera at night. Now one day, while flying in the sky, a big Ikran attempts to attack Jack and Nateri, but somehow they both escape from him, and then Nateri finds out that the big Ikran's name is Turek, and he is the biggest creature in the sky, and if no Turek likes someone as its owner, then he is called Turek Maktu. And in the entire history of Ayutthaya, only 5 nobbies were able to become Turek Maktu, and the one who can become Turek Maktu, he is respected by the entire nobby community. And slowly Jack has been living in this village for 3 months, and now he has forgotten his human life in a way. Now after a few days, Courage meets him, and he knows that the time is coming, and no matter how you are, you have to take the villagers from there to somewhere else, because now we will get out of that tree. Jack says that after a few days, there will be a ceremony in that village, and in that ceremony I will be selected as a member of that village, and after that, everyone will start believing me, and then I will ask everyone to leave from there. Now it is seen that the ceremony has started after a few days, and all the villagers, they selected Jack as their own member. And since Nateri and Jack liked each other very much, so after the ceremony that night, the two of them spend the night in a very beautiful way. But the next morning, they wake up and see Courage with all his soldiers, and with a big bulldozer started entering their village, and on the way, they were breaking all the trees. And after seeing this, Jack tries a lot to stop them. He gets up in their car and breaks all the cameras, but nothing happens. They can't be stopped in any way, and in front of their own eyes, after seeing their village destroyed like this, Nateri's condition gets very bad, and then it is seen all their villagers are fighting against humans, and since Jack was a human, so a villager of that village, he goes on top of him and starts beating him. And on the other H, and a little while ago, when Jack broke the camera of that car, then Quirrell, and the video can be seen from inside the camp, and Jack went against them. After knowing this, they come together to Jack, and turn off the machine, with the help of which he got along with his avatar. Now Grace, Norm, and Jack come to their main camp. After going there, Grace tells everyone those trees are very important to the NA6. Those trees get along with each other very well, and among them all the facts of their NA6 history are kept in a word. Those trees work like a computer with them, from where they can create all kinds of facts, but now no one wanted to believe their words. Now after a while, they get to know Quirrell is going to break the big tree of that village in which all the villagers live. Then Jack tells them, you guys please don't kill anyone, give me another proof, I will understand and everyone in the village, and take the body from there. Now it is seen Jack and Grace again return to that village in the form of their avatars. And after hearing all the incidents from Jack, Nagari gets very upset. She says, "Did you know everything from before, that there was an attack on our village?" Jack says, "Yes. I was their leader at one time, but now I have completely changed. Now I love this village of yours, but now no one trusts Jack anymore." All the villagers, with the help of Jack and Grace, get ready to fight with the people. These two told everyone to run away from there, but they all go to fight to save their homes. Now it is seen in a while Corral takes all his soldiers with the help of big helicopters reach there, and along with reaching there all the villagers start attacking them with a bow. But as a result of that attack, they were not harmed, and in a while, they with the help of a bow break the big tree completely a little earlier, which was the place where all the villagers lived, and in a little while the whole tree breaks there, and many people living there die. And after this incident, Jack and Grace are taken out of their bodies and locked in jail. But after a while most of the members of Grace's team help them escape from that jail, and seeing them run away from their, Corral starts shooting them, from which a bullet comes to Grace's neck, and for that reason Grace dies there in a little while. Now, they with the help of a helicopter take a machine chamber and hide it in the jungle so that Corral cannot find them, and from there with the help of that machine Jack goes back to his own body. But even if Jack wants, he cannot go back to that village because he broke all the trust of that village, and now to regain the trust of the villagers he goes in search of Turok in the sky, and in the sky Turok was the strongest animal. That's why he never stood up when he was flying in the sky, and in the end Jack hits Turok from above and controls him. Now Jack takes that Turok and goes in front of all the villagers, and after seeing that Turok with Jack all the villagers get very scared, and now they all start respecting Jack again. Now Jack says to all the villagers, "We will fight them and send them back to Earth. They are so pure that they have completely destroyed their nature, but here we won't let them do the same thing. All of you send all the villagers around here, we will all fight them together." And after hearing these words of Jack, everyone gets the courage to fight again. Now after a while Jack talks to all the goddesses of the navies, and he wants help for this war. And on the other edge, and it is seen that Kirich with all his soldiers and modern powerful weapons was preparing for this war, and to help Jack all the villagers around here came here. But even after fighting there for a long time, Jack and his companions didn't stop fighting with these modern weapons, and at one time, they all thought they might have lost, but then it is seen all the animals and birds of the jungle came to help them all. Actually, when Jack asked for help from the goddess, she heard his prayers, and so to help them he sent all the animals and birds of the jungle. And after a long time after this huge war, Jack and his companions killed Kirich, and in this whole war humanity lost, and then all the humans were sent back to Earth from Pandora, and only a few humans who had a good heart were allowed to stay there. And at the end it is seen the great goddess of Pandora with the help of Eva was taking Jack and his human body back to his incarnation, and like this he was reborn in his new body, and this is where the story of this movie ends. So like today I ended this video here. How did you like the video? Let me know in the comment box, like if you liked it, and dislike if you didn't like it. See you again in a new video.